what was your reaction at the start of the Konoha Crush when the quote-unquote Kazekage held a kunai to Hiruzen, the third Hokage's throat?
First, it was just like it's mad disrespectful. But I was just like, how powerful is this person? Like how powerful are these people to go up and then just rain hell on not even just this area, this region, what they want to take over, but the entirety of everything that they learned. It just literally went out the window just because of what they wanted. They showed up on business. Like that shit
Yeah.
was crazy. Like they did not care. There was no stipulation. There was nothing that was going to stop. No, just nothing. It was straight up. That is as close as you're getting to the action of Cutthroat.
To build off of that, how surprised were you when Orochimaru was revealed to be taking the Kazekage's appearance?
That was nuts. It was it's kind of crazy to see like him change in his sense. Reminds me a lot of Dollface, bro. It's honestly nuts. I almost should have bricked because I was just like, oh, again, what are we about to see from this character? What's to come? You know, what's about to happen? He's about to play somebody. You know, it's just a straight up 1v1 battle, and then everything just started unfolding right after. But I think it was crazy. It's also a huge up on his part if he wants to use it for deception. But at the same time, it was just like, what the hell? You know,
Yeah.
it's almost like watching everybody else's favorite or their specialty come out for the first time into play. It's just like, oh shit.
So that's what you've been hiding.
Right, right. Like, all right, I got my eye on you. Yeah, Orochimaru is kind of a really insane character in a sense. Like, he's just belligerently like just evil.
Oh
That's
yeah,
Yeah,
that's the
literally.
way to put it though.
Every arc will no, not even that. Just every anime or good story show movie like needs a evil like, but that motherfucker's evil. Even Frieza turns around and gives Goku a little bit of energy to battle the rest of his battle. Bro, that guy is not doing that shit for nobody. He's going to hand you the shit that came out of his ass. All right? Like he's going to say hold on to that.
It's funny how evil you talk about him being because when I think of Orochimaru, I think of his voice actor Steve Bloom, and then when I think of Bloom, I think of Bloomhouse and how they're always putting out like super quality horror movies or
Right.
like dark thrillers or dark suspense, and I'm like, this this role
It's a
couldn't have
thick
fallen into the
atmosphere.
lap of a
Yeah.
more apt person.
Right, it's a thick atmosphere when you're getting into people and characters that are like that. Like, you gotta also look at like the life guys, like creating a person like that is really not the most normal thing off spin. There's usually something we came from or built or gained
Oh,
strength
there's
from.
a little
So it's
bit
always good to
of
have these characters as a
inspiration in
reminder
every
too.
character.
So it's nuts. There's a lot. Like again, we'll go all the way back to the beginning. This is art. This is art in the making. Like
Yeah,
this is why I had to give anime a chance. More anime. Like let me correct myself because I grew up on this. I never really fully watched
you
it
never really
throughout. I watched
ventured
all of
out.
it,
Yeah.
but it was never in chronological order. Now I actually sat down 3.5, 4 years ago now and watched it two times back to back, start to finish. 700 plus episodes. Canon, movies, everything, all the way down to fan animation. So I'm really
Have you
happy that I've
seen
actually
the abridged
them.
version though?
Yeah, I've seen some janked versions too, to where they're the funnies,
so
but I really liked it.
this next piece isn't really going to be, or these next two pieces aren't necessarily going to be questions as much as they're going to be more discussion
That's fun.
points. And
More
for
opinion.
the first one, we're going to be going into just kind of analyzing the battle itself as well as the narrative implications of Orochimaru versus Hiruzen. So obviously the fight starts with the Konoha Crush starting, the Kazekage capturing the Hokage, and then the Kazekage actually being Orochimaru, which Hiruzen was pretty privy of rather quickly. But there's
I
a
just don't think he had like the concrete proof he wanted to act on.
yeah.
I thought that was so crazy.
My favorite thing when it comes to this fight in particular, though, is the narrative between Orochimaru fighting his former master slash sensei and having to kill his former master slash sensei, while Hiruzen has to face his former student slash disciple and face having to kill him. On top of that, Orochimaru then plays with Hiruzen's emotions even further by bringing in the first and second Hokage via Edo Tensei, two people who the second Hokage was his literal sensei, but the first Hokage had also been a mentor to him as well. So you have master versus student versus master versus student, and basically this infinite loop due to Orochimaru summoned in the Edo Tensei Hokage. Another thing I wanted to point out is when the Edo Tensei's are coming up, Hiruzen was like shitting bricks at the idea of the third coffin coming up. Just make sure you keep that in mind. That's going to be something important, let's just say. Anyways,
it also spawns a lot of memes.
yeah.
Just
So
wait, I'm gonna have my own.
so I guess with all of that I just explained with like the narrative implications of this fight, and even further into Orochimaru, he wants to master every and all jutsu and live forever, and he hasn't achieved that yet. But then you have Hiruzen, who doesn't want to live forever necessarily, but he's mastered every jutsu in the Leaf Village, and he's at his old age and on the decline. The everything Orochimaru doesn't want to be age wise, but everything he wants to be jutsu wise, and that even goes to show when it comes to the Reaper Death Seal being used at the end of the fight.
That was awesome. That was crazy. I was really just waiting to see that. That was a long scene, bro. That was stretched 3.5 episodes till the next action took course. Like I was dying inside, Tom. Like, it was
Yeah.
2.5 days for me, bro.
I've watched those episodes at least 10 times. I know.
With Hiruzen and Orochimaru, just overall, how did you feel about that whole narrative implication as well as the fight from a combat perspective?
From a combat perspective, I like how there was a lot of jutsus used. There was a lot of different things they were pulling out of the arsenal. The Reaper Seal was actually a really cool concept. I did not expect to see that come out to play. I was waiting and waiting and waiting to see what was going to happen if he did complete the seal on a battle aspect per warrior. Orochimaru did everything he could to try to win over, but as well as, the Hokage, he pretty much just gave it his all and went out like a true warrior. You know what I mean? Like he did that down to the very last second. Like it was almost perfect. Like that was the perfect way he was meant to go, protecting everything that he fought and lived for, while in his last fight showing and demonstrating some of his best jutsus. Like I mean, you couldn't even ask for a better ending for him. You know what I mean? Like that was a chef's kiss itself. A very tense scene. It was well fought on both sides. Obviously, one trying to fight, win, struggling not to die, while the other one is literally giving and pouring everything that he can into it, with down to his last breath. There was really not even a perfect ending on his end. Orochimaru is just a bitch for trying to do that, which then leads to his death. But like I said, it was a beautiful way of being done.
Well said, well said. The next discussion piece would be the second major fight of that arc. Obviously, there's a few other mini fights slash scuffles, but Hiruzen versus Orochimaru, and this one starts as Sasuke versus Gaara, then transitions into Naruto versus Gaara, is the other main one of this arc. First and foremost, how did you feel when you saw Gaara kind of losing his shit and you saw, what looked to be arms and shit coming out of him? Like, what were you thinking was going on in that moment?
That was probably the most curious I ever was in this series yet. Um, I was literally thinking like, what the hell? Like I was thinking back to where like, let me get my reader. Power levels just over 9,000. Like that shit was nuts. Like as soon as I seen first the shell, the impenetrable shell, and then the arms and the eye. As soon as I seen the eye, I was like, yo, if he comes out that thing, whatever it is, he's gonna cook. He's about to cook. Like I knew when that came out, that was no time to play. Like for nobody. Like anybody. Don't care what your power level, if you're the Hookage, like shit's about to go down if we don't know how to tame this.
I will say on that topic, both Orochimaru and Hiruzen would deal with him with relative ease.
Yeah, I know.
Um,
I'm just like just in the vicinity's sake, if
Yeah.
they were going against him. But like in a sense, it was scary because you didn't know what was going to happen, and also versus him and his psychotic breaks. I mean, he was literally having a psychotic chain affected episode with all the memories. Like he was beating himself up as much as he was beating the other motherfuckers up. So it's just crazy. He's such a really weirdly versed character, but yeah, that was nuts. That was a nut fight.
Yeah, I mean, just in general, between Sasuke pushing his limit to try and use a third Chidori, and then
Yeah,
everything
almost
that happens
died.
with the curse mark from there.
I thought
Naruto
his
coming in last second. Him and Sakura. Sakura immediately almost is taken hostage and out of the fight. Sasuke is already out of the fight by the time that they get there, type shit. And it
right.
just means, all right, Naruto, it's time for you to lock the fuck in. What are we gonna see? What do we see?
Not,
Thousands of
And I
shadow
really,
clones, Gamma
yeah,
Bunta,
that
and a
was awesome.
combination.
yeah, not
Now,
to mention
yeah,
the third shot, but also the cursed fourth shot that he did with the Chidori. Like that's crazy.
He was only able to do 2 shots. The third shot was when the curse mark came out.
I thought he did a fourth with the curse mark. I
the
know
way
for a
that
fact in at least one of the games they reference that fight with the titles of a couple of his Chidori. The one is the forbidden third shot, and the other is cursed shot in the game at least. So
wrapping that up and that how everything folded, I mean, it gave Naruto for once and foremost, my boy, the spotlight. They handled motherfucking business. He also, in the sense, gets to save Sakura and Sasuke. So it was awesome to see him finally get his spotlight. Everything unfold. You get to see Gara go fucking nuts. And it was just nice that, like, he actually finally got to do something for her, or to be like, oh, she's finally gonna realize something of me now, my worth, or because in the moment he was just getting shit done, but after the fact, like, it's also crazy because Sasuke's a little salty, but
he did him so dirty. Even
yeah,
after, oh, you
yeah.
don't know that coming.
I don't know anything, but yeah, um,
You'll
yeah,
find out soon.
really good predictions right now under my belt, and I'm very confident on 3 of them. 2 of them,
Shoot.
Two of them, Animonium, and you guys know, because I brought them up, was with the 2 girls. They're just, I feel like they're just going to put belt to ass soon. And 3 is Pervy Sage. Something about this motherfucker, bro. With your favorite character, I feel like he's trying to mac. I feel like he's trying to smack. And it's just only because yes, I mean, some things and situations force them to be together. Like, but he has to go out twice. And he's usually only going out to suffice for himself. And there's other women and bitches and everything there. But then he's bringing her. Then 4, only focusing on his meal, drinking, and talking to her. Also, there was one comment made, and it was just more trajected energy. He'll give a little less energy to some other people than at some perfect times. But I could just be thinking it too much. But I don't know. Don't give me a spoiler, but yeah, he just seems like he's on ass. Like he wants the jugs, bro.
So, what stood out to you from both Shino and Kankuro in their fight against each other?
Yeah, no, I fucking hate Bug Boy. It was Bug Boy and who else?
And Puppet Boy.
Dude, these are the 2 least favorite characters. I'm just realizing. I seriously, these are my 2 least favorite characters in Naruto. I'm not even kidding you. I don't know who takes the cake, either Buck Boy or Puppet Boy, but bro, they could put them in a box and chip them off. That fight was fucking. That fight was. It was crazy because it was weird. You didn't understand how it was going to unfold. And then you see like their specialties. I'm like, this motherfucker controlling bugs and parasites, and then he has got a puppet. So I'm looking at like the differences, and like the versatility is crazy. So it was cool to see it all unfold, but at the same time, like it didn't put me in the hot seat. Like I'm watching Gara go nuts, or the Nine Tails out. But it was kind of cool in the context of a chiller fight for more thought out fighting, because in a sense they're a little less physical, but they have to think more out. Like him, he's got to be protected. That puppet is his shield.
Mhm.
Like, and then on the other hand, Bug Boy over here, he's not the strongest in the world, but I think it was pretty cool to see that he could control bugs and also, slip venoms, parasitics, anything like that. Like that's actually a crazy. If you do it right, you can literally kill something or somebody without moving, blinking, or even being heard. But I liked seeing Bug Boy kind of, make a name for himself in a sense, gaining to be a little bit more of a liked character by me because I did like him less than that scene, believe it or not. Same thing with Puppet. Kind of knew he was gonna get his shit rocked. He's picking himself up off the ground. I kind of liked seeing that. So sorry if I'm biased, but that's just it's my opinion. Sorry for anybody that likes Puppet Boy. He's cool in a sense, he's all right, but like I don't know, man. His face with the ears just fucks me up, throws me off. It reminds me of like Adventure Time with his mask, but sorry. But yeah,
God,
Puppet Boy's
Finn the
doing his
human
thing.
under that shit.
He's doing his thing.
Oh, I love that. Bro, I never even thought of Finn being under there, but now it's all I'm gonna fucking think about.
Bro, I was sitting there so like bent out of shape the one day. I'm like, bro, this is Finn. This is Finn.
I might draw it now.
Bro, you had to draw it.
Look, you got to do half
I
Finn
hate
and
it
half
so
of him.
I'm
You got to
so
do a half and
compelled.
half face.
Last question before we get into your overall ranking. Did Shikamaru's quote unquote sacrifice, the idea that he was about to pretty much go 1v8 and send himself to die for Naruto and Sasuke, for Naruto, I guess technically Sasuke, but Naruto and Sakura is what I meant to say, along with Asuma's ultimate interference. Did that surprise you? And if it did, why or why not?
It was cool. Like, it was a patriotic act, but at the same time, I don't think he was equipped for all that. 8 motherfuckers. But then again, like, I'm still growing. He's still a little newer to me because, like, this is just freshly, like, introduced. Not too long ago. For me, at least, the last week. But it would have been interesting to see him pretty much try to go balls deep, you know? But I don't think he would have came out alive.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's highlighted also by the fact that Asuma had to step in. I mean,
Yeah.
there was
And
another shinobi hiding in the trees that Asuma had killed, and when the shinobi that Shikamaru was fighting were like, "Yo, come kill this motherfucker," it was actually Asuma that came out and killed those motherfuckers instead.
That was also highlighted by how he knew there was someone else up in the trees and he didn't have the reach.
right, and even if like he did go through with it, there was still somebody and another force waiting, So like it wasn't gonna look good either way, but it like again, it was another scene that just happened to happen the way it did for a reason. So glad that it's just like that, No main no mains are lost or anybody died that we care about. But it was interesting. It was awesome to see his tactics and stuff like that. Shadow. I never like really like even thought that you could think of, jutsu to be like, yeah, I want to control a shadow. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
It's so cool of a like an aspect to think because like you're thinking like oh, I want to be strong, I want to be invulnerable, I want to fly, I want to like this dude's controlling your shadow movement like a shadow, like that's just
Yeah.
nuts.
Yep. You can't run from your shadow when Shikamaru's around.
Right, and he doesn't have to bring it out of you. He doesn't have to summon anything. Like it almost probably is so self-efficient to himself. The only thing that he has to strain is the force battling. Like it's
You're
crazy.
gonna see some really cool Shikacho formations throughout this series.
Awesome.
On a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate this arc and why?
This one, I'm gonna give this a confident 10. It's a more strong, confident 10 than I said the last time because it is getting intense. It's getting intense. There's a lot more of my favorite scenes coming into play. Shit is just getting only realer and realer. I'm liking to see how not only am I learning what's what to come, but now I'm also forming predictions and I'm actually starting to feel like, I'm getting a really good reading accurately on predictions. So it looks like I'm doing a decent job on pretty much judging and learning about my characters and trying to categorize them. Um, I love it. I can't wait to see what happens. Like I said, bro, I'm waiting to pop Naruto on right now. Like, but yeah, amazing, heartfelt. The warrior, the fighting aspect, everything is a 10 out of 10. Your mannerism, your combat, your plot, your emotion, it's all tied in so well.